Good morning, everyone. Hi. Well, we're looking for some rotation today, ideally. Keep the rally going somewhere else. The beginning of the week, uh, the theme was the Dow and the Russell to move up and outperform. Well, one of them did, so we got half of it right. So today, I think the other one has time to catch up, and the Dow is time to leave it alone. I think it probably will make a new all-time high. It's just typically what happens. You get people hyped up, pushing up end of the year, so on and so forth. Uh, you see over here, it's really not doing much of anything, just hanging up there. We'll take a look at the others, see where they're at. Let's look at IWM. So that hasn't gone anywhere. Well, it moved up and yesterday won a no go nowhere day, but we've got looking at the 65 minute, and we look at it without the overnight trading. And so it's got to get through this level. So it's given us a chance. Let me go back and look. Where's this again here? Yeah, it's gapping up to the top of the red bar, which you can see on the daily chart. And I put the cursor there. It's moving away a little bit. So it had a little bit of a move up there overnight, not too long ago. It's up near the highs. It's got room to go up. It's not as clean as the Dow. It's got not all these little pivot highs over there. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see what it does. Repairing. All right. Now the Qs, we'll look at the semiconductors. Nvidia moved down today on whoever it was sold their whole stake to get money to invest in AI. But this has the potential to make a meaningful move. And I highly doubt it would make the kind of move that Dow would. Not just today. You can see all the congestion that's over there. But if it can get through this area, and it should need the semiconductors to kick it in, which we had a intraday short on those yesterday, which worked out nicely. But this is gapping up and it's going sideways at resistance, so that's bullish price action. And if the semis can kick it in, or something else like that Planeteer, or however you pronounce it, Meta maybe Meta could bring up the rear since it's unloved. See, it's down here and had that little break to the downside, and it's going sideways. And the 65-minute chart, with the overnight data, it's up a little bit. You can go look at the 65 here. You can see like a little downside shakeout, head and shoulders bottom kind of a pattern. So what's going to help the NASDAQ go up? Underperformers, like this. Underperformers. You saw what Netflix did. That moved up over the last few days. It's interesting how it moved back down. It had the stock split here, and then it got knocked back down in this little retest reversal pattern, and 3 days of chopping around, and now that's moved up to resistance, but maybe it could keep going. So you can see it does have room to go up, even though it's in a downtrend. So maybe that could help bring the markets up as well. Let's look at Microsoft. That got clobbered on its earnings. Not, it's a little different, but moved down, deep retracement sideways. Maybe that could move up. What's it doing here pre-market? Not doing much of anything. So these are some of the ones that could bring up the rear, as we say. Amazon, it's not down near the lows, but consolidating. It's a lot cleaner, right, without the overnight data. But downward move, deep retracement, sideways at resistance. If the Qs are going to rally, it's going to need some of these big caps to help drag it along. And maybe other things that are pounded down that could help. But we want some of these higher priced, higher weight ones to move up. So if those are moving up, the Qs go up, and well, there's the Qs again, but sideways. Let's see what Apple is doing, because that was getting see, it moved up yesterday. I wasn't even watching it, but that could make new highs. And well, ideally, Nvidia, even any kind of an update that even doesn't turn this all around, which I think is highly unlikely, but let's go back. It's gapping up a little bit. So not of big interest for this, but anything that could move up, that could help move those Qs higher, that would be good. There's our SMHs, sloppy, but, and what else can we have here? Oh, biotechs have been on fire. And that has not helped the Russell, even with that, moving up like that. And where's my XLE? Put that in here. Okay. That moved up. What is it? KRE? Yeah. Keep an eye on this today. If this can start moving up, that's going to help the Russell. So I'd like to see the Russell participate. It may or may not. We'll see what happens. The Qs I already covered what we need to see happen there. And so there's the Russell futures, and you can see the sideways here, and maybe a little chop back and forth, maybe another little blip to the downside like that it recovers from. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. So the Qs are up against resistance here. So they're not gapping up. That's good. They're holding their own here. And yeah, that's what I'll be looking for today, to see if they can start bringing up the rear. The Dow pretty much, run its course. Patterns like this is what you want to look for getting on board, not this. And so this kind of a breakout, maybe it goes a little further just because it's been moving up. Well, they're not gapping up significantly, Dan, because they're not. I don't see them breaking out unless this data is wrong. They're gapped up, but they're right at resistance. So they got to hold on here and then start to move up. Whatever it is. I mean, look, how many times do we look at a chart and anybody has said, oh, the Dow is up that amount, because we look at the charts. If it's up 350, 450, whatever, it's at resistance. It doesn't give me an opportunity to press the button. It's got to get through there. All right. And S&Ps up toward resistance as well. So yesterday we thought would be a consolidation day, and the dip was bought. This didn't continue up, so to some degree it was, and those semis helping. All right, so like every day we just observe and see what's going on, where the opportunities are. I like to focus on the futures and the indices, and some individual stocks, like maybe that Meta can help bring up the rear. All right. We'll get to SPX. Let me just look at SPY again. I already have the numbers loaded up here. So Spider's gapping up into resistance, the top of the red bar there, right over here, gapping to the top of the red bar. I'll double check these numbers. So gapping up here, dangerously close to the call strike. Let me see. Did it move back up again? Because things jiggling around 69.10. No, still right there. Dangerously close. So it would seem, right? I usually use the term, oh, that's a no-brainer. Well, sometimes you got to think, is it really a no-brainer? It should be. I mean, gapping up here, the possibility of going down to 60 to 67.95. Yeah, it's still there, 67.95. Something pretty terrible would have to happen, right, to go from here all the way down there. And you've got yesterday's low and high as lines of defense. So anything under yesterday's low, I believe, would be doable. And will it get up there today? I think having run from here, and gapping up there, I would think it would not go up there today, but it's close. So today, as prices move up, one of the things to look for is traders to get sucked in, meaning, this is gapping up a little bit. Go to the 5-minute chart. It's a base. It breaks out at 9:30 and gets slammed right back down again. Then that would be price information that would suggest it's not going up there. It's likely to pull back, but pull back to where? It's not likely to go back under, this day's low. So we look at the charts, we make some biases, assumptions, beliefs about what is, and then we see what's going to happen and look for patterns in the moment. Okay. What are interest rates doing here? They're doing down a bit here. All right, no big deal. Nothing of significance. Gold continues to advance. Well, silver was advancing nicely. This is kind of stuck there, but I thought this would come down a little bit more yesterday, but it did not. It actually built some support. I had an alarm down here. We never got there. Well, now it's retested this and moving back up. So gold may be a place to focus on. Can this move up above that area? You can see it's been going sideways at this resistance, and it's got a lot of room to go up. Lots of room. There's silver already leading the way. It's a little bit above that high there. I mean, why shouldn't I think with a pattern like this that it's going to make new highs? It looks great. All right, crude oil, and then we'll get to Bitcoin. Flip back down again. It's an indecisive, but hey, the oil stocks are doing well. They've been moving up. Bitcoin, it's up here a bit. It's just been flip-flopping around. And I don't know what's going on with that, but I know it's a mess. So it looked like it was going lower, and now maybe it gets sold into here. This is the kind of pattern that's just better to stay away from because there's nothing decisive yet. These are the kind of patterns we sell put spreads on, where you have several days and a red bar ignored like this and a bottoming tail bar. Because all the put spread is I don't think it's going down here. It's the simplest thing. I mean, as a vehicle to trade, what's not so simple is the management. And hats off to Dan because honestly, I don't think I could do it, and posting what the October results, which were great. And it's all about the management. All right. Yeah. So we looked at some ETFs. Financials did well yesterday. I mean, they're up at resistance. Another reason to be skeptical as far as the S&P is continuing to go higher. And I just want to look at this, and I'll hand it over to Dan. Yeah, these home builders just not doing much of anything here. I just thought maybe when interest rates going down, there'd be some opportunities there. So that's it from me. Hand it over to you, Dan. I was just going to ask. I thought it was me. I didn't hear Dan. I don't hear Dan either.
Yep, it was muted on the big computer. So yeah, thanks. All right. Yeah, I was saying I had a bullish bias into the close yesterday, but that doesn't mean I wanted to buy the indexes. Um, and the Qs I said was a bull island reversal. So I think target this gap fill 630-ish. And then I said, Sam, your LPLA alarm, igniting gap, love the bottoming tail. So maybe 30-minute high. SPRU. This was an earning stock. I said if it opened flat, I liked it over these bars. So maybe that could be a 30-minute high. AEP, I had a down alarm. We have a break even stop. Let me reset. Just had QQQJ alarm. Alex, this is yours. Up alarm right here. 3750. Netflix up alarm. We have Greg mentioned it. We have a put spread on this and Microsoft. Those are the two opens. And I have an alarm on Meta. I agree that would be a nice climb up, but I'd like it to get over, what's today, Wednesday, get over Monday's high. Gulf Delta, I had an up alarm go off. I said try to sell a third pre-market. Um, so put that in the window and I tighten the stop. That was a beautiful turn buy setup with a multi-day turn. And we talk about the tail. Look at this bottoming tail range expansion. Took out lows and was a closing breakout. That is your entry over the high of that bar. So fantastic. Charlie India. It's a bounce, 20 MA, but it's bounce. I prefer a put spread. 255s if there's anything. Look, 255, 5 cents by 75. We are in Charlie Bravo, competitor. Charlie Bravo. Look how this pattern is superior. Above all the moving averages. You got a 1, 2, 3, 4 breakout. So we're in trail mode on that. And then Halliburton low alarm. We sold a third at the high. Yeah, I see the oil sectors coming in. So let's move. Well, let's get 30-minute low because it's gap. I had a break even stop. Those are all the alarms. I do not have a big watch list item. Let's go to earnings here. I already deleted some. Oclo, nothing. Nothing to do here. I was hoping it would get up to 80, but it's gapping up a little bit within this 15-minute range. Nothing to do. This one, yeah, you got resistance there, but I like this downside shakeout at the rising 50. Maybe 30-minute high, but I don't like the void or lack thereof. This was the one I said I like 30-minute high. Bullish weekly, monthly also. This was a mess. Kind of those overlapping bars, recent IPO, BlackRock Coffee. Never heard of them. Heard of BlackRock mutual funds. A double I, it's up a lot, but bullish. Goes it down 9 cents. No pattern. $1,300 stock and no pattern. TME, I said if it opened flat, you could short it, but now it's gapping down. A circle 93. That's a bearish pre-market, but it's gapping down. I don't know. Let's put it in this. And this started out to be a Wall Street love stock. We actually traded it here on this turn, I remember. Maybe it goes all the way back down to this $80 or 70. Wow, 67. So it has room to fall, but no bias right now. Onion, Sam sold puts on this into earnings. Nice job, and the pattern supports it at Climo. I didn't do it because my recollection was it was only 23 cents. But you should be pretty near full profit at the open. That's a monster. Wow, that's gapping up to the 50. Over the 50. That's a big bounce. Lower, no pattern, mess. HBM 1630. I mean, this is a pattern. If it can chop around for a week, it might build another base to break out of. Tick. It's a mess. I do not have much here. All right, so those are all the earnings. Look at Pfizer. Yeah, this healthcare and bios, as Greg showed you, had a nice day yesterday. Look at Pfizer, that'd be a no-brainer put spread, but no premium. We got our ETF letter into this on a Monday. So we're in a full lot of that. But yeah, if somebody wants to scan bios, a beautiful entry, this gap breakout. Here's a continuation. Here's a continuation. Look at these moving averages. Wow. Netflix up alarm. So we got a put spread. I'll be looking to cover some here. New up alarm. Pega. It's still constructive. Ideally, it chops around for another bar or two. This is on my list. AMD. It looked like a topping pattern, but now it's gapping up. KMB alarm. Bottoming pattern got creamed the other day when they were buying that Tylenol company. And then I noticed MU was up with it. Look at those railroad track 2050. Nvidia's up. So semis are up. 356. Gapping near near yesterday's high, but no great pattern. This curve, I think had earnings yesterday. Say that is power move down on volume. So there's no way I would, even do a put spread, but maybe day trade because it's stabilized here and has a void. So 30-minute high day trading, but maybe. These are just miscellaneous stocks. SCM bottoming pattern. USAR we're in, but you can add yesterday's high. Looks like it's gapping over yesterday's high. USC. This is my neighbor's stock. I told him I'd start watching it for him. He just nonchalantly he shows me his has open positions. He has 150,000 shares of this with a covered call. IBM, Alex, right there in the afternoon. I said this could be the home run entry. Topping tail, 15-minute breakout. Yeah, well, even though it's gapping up $4, it's not too extended. So let's watch that on a pullback. Reagan just had an alarm go off. I posted that as a long. You mentioned that yesterday. I liked kind of an ascending triangle, closing breakout. Walmart, you mentioned. Just not sure the reward to risk for a swing, particularly with the markets up at resistance. But day trade 30-minute high. I would love if it would just chop around here till 10 a.m. There's Sam's La Playa. Sam, this is your mercy. I got alarm 7220. Yeah, UPS is on my list here somewhere too. Yeah, over over the red bar over Monday's time. Let me set an alarm 9560. Always look at the cousin, FedEx. Oh, yeah, even FedEx took off. This IBIT and ETHA gapped up. I mean, had a nice, yeah, it gapped up from this nice retest. Watching on a pullback here, IBIT and ETHA. This ETHA, man, it gaps such a big percentage every day. So $27. Has room, has a void. GDX, we're in. ATI, I have an alarm, 9860. It's making the turn, a buy setup. All right, Charlie Bravo. It's coming in. I had an alarm. Yeah, Qs and spiders coming in here from pre-market consolidation. UPS alarm. Yeah, UPS 30-minute high. Trex up alarm, but it's just dog meat. Talking about dog meat, look at Greg's Beyond. Look at that, $1.20. A firm top of the range, but I love this 180. We had a beautiful put spread on it. If this can go sideways 2-3 more days, then it's a breakout candidate. ATI alarm. It's an early alarm like always, but that's shaping up. EOSE, my neighbor's stock, nothing to do. Vico Soare, I was watching the pullback yesterday into the gap. Still not ready, but shaping up. Puts were too spready. I already checked. Q selling off hard here. So I immediately look up and see what's getting hurt. And they're all selling off. It looks like a sell program, but I'd say so. Google's selling off hard in the 5 and 15, but daily is fine, nothing to do. Tesla. Let me check our price of the put spread here. Netflix, 1095.
Then Amazon, they all got whacked after gapping up the max.
Yeah. Right, Microsoft, we closed half.
Still starting off with a bang here. That resistance.
125. Yeah, JHG. Yep, my alarm went off. Yep, JHG. I posted pre-market. JHG. Yep, looks great. Even though the market's wow. Look at the two differences of Qs and spiders and diamonds and IWM. Totally opposite moves on the 5-minute chart. But yeah, JHG looks like the best new long so far. Wow, spready as can be though. This is Janice Fenderson Group. All right, I'm gonna bid for it. I'm not paying that spread. But yeah, looks great. Black. I would like to see it close first, Thomas, to make sure, but it's going on the list. Got my unit. Yeah, looks higher. I don't think it's a headache pattern to me. Let's Pega. Yes, this trades wildly. 618 puts. Yeah, I could see that. And we came down hard though. I prefer when they come down controlled. But yeah, it's right there, a minor support. 18 is, yeah, I agree with that, Trent. Particularly the way you manage. Let me see how much they are. Six eighteens. Right now, 52. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll keep an eye on it to join you. Right. Well, UPS did trade above that, so maybe 30-minute high on UPS. Tracks. Hmm. I wish it had a bigger something bar, but maybe 30-minute high. Apple. Apple would be a 1, 2, 3 if it closed like that. Microsoft, let me tighten the stop. 95. $0.20. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, so we closed half yesterday. All right. And bid. All right, we're in good shape on Microsoft already adjusting it. Did that Archin go? Yeah, Archin was a clean hit. So Archin and JHG. Now we're back to 17 longs again. I killed 2 of them yesterday, break even. Oh, what about this Hal bouncing? Yeah, let's shoot. I should have an alarm go off. Yeah, looks great. I said the gap wasn't too big. I wasn't watching it though, but yeah, it looks fantastic. Has room. Just hate chasing here. The actually, can you imagine if we bought right here when I mentioned it yesterday? I mean, would have, could have, but it was on my list for today. Awesome, awesome for you. Were you the one that gave it to me? Or was I just watching it for a while? Gold. Yeah, yeah. Retest run by setup. I can choose new low. So I told you I was holding off. I was waiting for stabilization. Uh, yeah, looks great. Looks great. Yeah, I would have liked it better at 155, but yeah, you know where the stop is. And you know me, I'll check puts. Let's sell the 152.50s. Wow, there's no weeklies. 150s, Sam. 50 cents by 320. Friggin' jerk. You know what I'm gonna do, Alex? I'm gonna tell him to bid. Just I'm gonna say bid. All right. Bid a third at 156. Oh, yesterday low. Yeah, kind of a little rectangle. Yeah, that'd be great if it closed like this, and then tomorrow we could do the high. Let's put that in a window. IBM, I'm not chasing. Um, yeah, maybe we'll do 30-minute high on Macy's. I mean, you could, nibble down if you want. Q's new low.
They're on overnight support. See if it
Yeah.
holds.
Wow, the puts are nuts on Macy's. 4 cents by 40. But yeah, I like Macy's. Let's do 30-minute high. GDX up alarm. Nice. And that means my leverage one is doing good. I mean, I got puts on that. I forget the symbol.